I'd heard Anne Heche was in a car accident. I had no idea. Apparently, Anne Heche is on life support and is brain dead. Let's read. Anne Heche's life support will be turned off after the brain dead actress has her organs checked for donation. Families say she will be remembered for her courageous honesty and dearly missed. Actress Anne Heche, 53, has officially been declared brain dead after a fiery crash in Los Angeles. Heche's family said she will stay on a ventilator to determine whether any of her organs can be donated. After that, she will be taken off life support by medics at the Grossman Burn Center at West Hills Hospital. It has long been her choice to be an organ donor, so she will remain technically alive until check is complete. So, this came as a surprise to me, but let's read on. Heche, who has been hospitalized at the Grossman Burn Center at West Hills Hospital north of Los Angeles, suffered a severe anoxic brain injury, basically lack of oxygen to the brain, in the August 5th crash, according to a statement released Thursday night on behalf of her family and friends. Such an injury is caused by sustained lack of oxygen to the brain. A representative for her loved one said, "We want to thank everyone for their kind wishes and prayers for Anne's recovery and thank the dedicated staff and wonderful nurses that care for Anne at the Grossman Burn Center at West Hills Hospital. Unfortunately, due to her accident, not so sure, Anne Heche suffered a severe anoxic brain injury and remains in a coma in critical condition. She is not expected to survive." And you can see some of the pictures. It was definitely a fiery crash. She was burned. They report that when she was burned, they put blankets and stuff on her. They do that to keep out infection. And typically, a person doesn't throw them off, which reportedly she did. So she was still conscious and breathing at the time, after being pulled from the car, after receiving the initial smoke inhalation. And we see a picture where she's got an alcohol bottle in her vehicle. Apparently, she had a crash into a garage, and then shortly thereafter was seen at a high speed, on a camera at high speed, where she then later crashed into another garage and a person's house, and that caused the vehicle, which was a Mini, to burst into flames. So let's read. Detectives with a search warrant took a sample of Heche's blood and found narcotics, cocaine and fentanyl in her system, LAPD spokesman Officer Jeff Lee said. Officials confirmed she hadn't been drinking alcohol, despite being pictured with a vodka bottle in her cup holder. A close friend of the actress told DailyMail.com she is in terrible condition. The smoke inhalation is life-threatening. It will be a miracle if she recovers from this and comes out of a coma. The actress lost control of her car as it careened into a home and ignited a fire that badly burned her, leaving her in extreme critical condition. It took 59 firefighters 65 minutes to access, confine, and fully extinguish the stubborn flames that were caused by Heche's crash. That doesn't mean she was in it for that long, but that's how long it took them to get the fire put out. She was obviously taken out of the wreck, and it doesn't take much for a person that's trapped in a vehicle to be burned very badly. And so one of the things to point out with this crash, and we can see some of the fire damage and stuff here, is that fentanyl is one of those drugs that doesn't take very much to overdose on, and it affects the respiratory system. It shuts it down. One of the signs, from this is that the lips can turn purple. A person will have labored breathing, slow labored breathing, and you could have the same effect from smoke inhalation. And if a person is in a crash and EMTs and firefighters that respond and take the person out see those kind of conditions on a person, might not notice that a person has, pinpoint pupils, and those are they could easily miss the signs that a person's having a fentanyl overdose. So it'll be interesting to see what they find after this, because she typically, if she was exposed to smoke inhalation, yet she was sitting up immediately after being pulled out when she was put into the ambulance, then her respiratory system shutting down, very likely as a result of the fentanyl and the smoke inhalation. And if you have someone that's alive and breathing and you don't recognize the signs that they're also on fentanyl, the EMTs wouldn't know that. She wouldn't have been administered Narcan. She could have slipped worse and worse into respiratory distress to the point of being intubated And this is likely how Anne Heche died, as a result of being, treated for her injuries and not treated for a fentanyl overdose. So, yeah. Not to mention the fact that she was driving very fast and ran into a building. It might have been distress from the drugs as well that caused her to do that. But I want to take this point to point out that China, we're real friendly with China under the Biden regime, but China's where fentanyl comes from. We have a porous border. A lot of that comes right through the southern border. And at this point, we have 20,000 Border Patrol agents. That's all we have, 20,000 Border Patrol agents. And we just passed, or we're in the process of passing legislation to add 87,000 armed IRS agents. As we increase the size of our government employee base, with our 20,000 Border Patrol agents, we're adding 87,000 armed IRS agents. So, this is pretty terrible. This is one of those things that this should add some more attention to the fentanyl problem that's going on in the United States. It's pretty sad, but here we've lost a Hollywood star that everyone seemed to love, and not from drinking, from cocaine spiked with fentanyl.